All right, this is 4.7 drawing circle graphs. I'm going to do page number 163 and number 2 from that page, just as an example. It says that in a telephone survey, 400 people voted for their favorite radio stations, and they have a table that shows it. 88 people voted for the station Magic 99. Not sure for Easy 2, 120 for Rock 1, and 100 votes for Hits 2. Part A says how many people chose Easy 2. So we need to figure this out. Now that's pretty easy, I think, because there's 400 people and they voted for these 4 stations, which means you have these 4 options, which means this plus this plus this plus this better be 400 people. So that means that if you take 400 and you subtract each of these other numbers, you get the number that Easy A is. So if we subtract them, there's a few ways we could show that. I'm just going to write it in like this. We're just going to subtract these. We should end up with 92. That is the answer for A. Another way to show it would be this. 400 is equal to all of these added up. So to figure out what question mark is, what this one is, you'd subtract each of these other terms, do the opposite operation, but then you have to do it to both sides. So you also have to do a subtract 88, a subtract 120, and a subtract 100. So 400 subtract each of these, 400 subtract each of these, you'll end up with question mark is 92. Okay, so your answer is 92 voted for Easy 2. Now part B says to write the number of people who voted for each station as a fraction of the total number who voted, then write each as a percent. So first you need to write it as a fraction. So if you have 88 that voted for Magic, so let's do Magic first. Magic 99, there's 88 people who voted for it. Out of how many? The portion over the total, what's the total? It was 400 people, so it's 88 over 400. Now we need to get, so we got our fraction, but we need to put it to percent. 400, to get to something that we can figure out a percent, we need to get to maybe 100. We could divide the bottom by 4. Whatever we do to the bottom to make sure it's still equal, we need to do to the top. So we're going to divide by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 4, and 8 divided by 4 is 4. So it's I have 4s on my mind. 88 divided by 4 is 2. So or 22. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 22 over 100. Once we have that, we know it's 0.22, which is 22%. So that's our answer we're looking for. I'm going to do the next one, Easy 2, is 92 votes. That's what we figured out in part A. So it's 92 over 400, which we divide by 4, divide by 4. And this is 100 here. 92, think about this. 92 is 4 more than 88, which means for every 4 of these that you're dividing by 4, it's going to be 1 more, which means this is 1 more 4 more, which means this is just going to be 1 more. 23, and 92 divided by 4 is 23, which is 0.23. Sorry, this is a little messy. I'm trying to do this fast. 23. Next is Rock 1. There was 120 votes. We got that from our table. Of the 400 total people that voted, think about this. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So 120, we'll just put that 0 back on. 12, these first two was 3, and we put the 0 back on, it's 30. So it's 30 over 100, which is 0.30, which is 30%. And finally, Hits 2 was 100 votes over 40, which 1 over 4 is the same thing as a quarter. So we know it's 0.25, which is 25%. I skipped a step there, but it only said we had to do the fraction and the percent. So those are what we're doing. Then finally, we're supposed to make a circle graph for it. Now this is a percent circle. A percent circle has 100 of these 1% gaps all around. So if you counted all the gaps around, it would be 100. Now it makes it easy by having some extra lines in here. Every 10 gaps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They put a solid line, and they also make every fifth one a little bit bigger. So here's what we had on the other side. We figured this out. Magic 99 had 22%. So what we're going to do is we're going to start here. Now this outside works a lot like a ruler. If you remember from using a ruler, when you count, let's say we went from here to here. We didn't go anywhere. It's still 0 centimeters. It's not until we move that it's 1. So when we start, we're at 0. It's not until we move a gap that we get 1 centimeter. Okay? What about if we're at 6? Let's say we start at 6 and we don't move. We would have moved 0 centimeters. But if we start at 6 and we move to 7, what's the difference? 7 subtract 6 is 1. So this is 1 centimeters long. Notice that's the same as that amount. 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter. So what we need to remember is we start wherever we're starting is 0. So this line I like to start at the top is 0. And as we go, it goes up 1 each time. So each of these is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here would be 10, 20. Okay, so pickups. Magic 99 had 22% of the vote. So we're going to start here. I'm going to make this a little more solid line. I usually use a ruler, and hey, I have one. I'll use it on the next one. So we could count all individual ones, but you might make a mistake. So what do? Here's a way. We could realize that 22 is 2 tens, 2 in our tens place. So we'll go a 10. So that's 10 to right here. Another 10 would be here, which is 20. And then from there, we need to count 2 more. 1, 2. It's right there. Then we take our ruler and we connect that dot right to the center. Okay. And in here, we can write Magic 99, 22%. You should have the station and the 20%. If you want to make a legend on the side, you could instead, and then color this in and color coordinate. But this one's big enough that there's enough space. Next, we have easy 2. We're starting here. We're starting from this line, and we need to figure out how much is 23 away from there. So if I think about it, I go 1, 2, 3. I'm at this 5. And then in order to get my 20 that's part of my 23, I need to do 20 more, which skipping from here to here is 10 more, and that's 20 more. So it's right here. Now to check, this is 23%, this is 22%. This 22% plus 23%, 22 plus 23 is 45. So this line, all the way here, both of these together should end up at 45. If we think about it, there's 10, 20, 30, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or we could look, and this is half, which means this is 50. 45 is 5 less than 50, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I ended up at the right spot. I like to check each time because if I made a mistake here and this was 1 off, then my next one might be 1 off, and the next one, and the next one. Okay, next, rock 1. If I'm here at this 5 and I need to add 30, I know I need to end on one of these 5s. I have to end on the same one because there's nothing in my 1's digit. I just need to realize that's what it is. So here we could count up by 5s and go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It's right on that line. Or we could count up counting by 10s, go 10, 20, 30. Or we could count up by 1s and go 1, 2, 3 all the way over there. But I figured out that is 30. Now I'm going to purposefully make a mistake on the next one just to show. But this was rock 2, this area in here. Sorry, rock 1, which was 30%. If you think about 25, let's say you're counting. You went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up, and you got here was 25. And this is your last data point. And you got to the wrong one. There's going to be a gap left here that is 1%. which wouldn't make sense because there's no other stations they could vote for. So what would this 1% be? It wouldn't be anything. If you have that happen, it means that maybe you didn't find your percents properly, or it might mean that you counted improperly. So if I counted here, it's because I counted and I actually counted to the 24th one when I needed to actually count one more to actually get to 25. So it would have been a miscount here. But if you ever don't fill in the rest with that last station, if the 25 you count out isn't right, one of these is going to be wrong and you need to possibly restart. If you messed up the first one, you'd have to restart the whole thing. So that isn't where 25 is, that's just 24. And if we look at it, if we split this up into 4 parts, it's a quarter of it, and we know a quarter is 25%. So this last part is the 25%. Hits 2 is 25%. The first thing or the last thing, depending on how you look at it, you need to always have a title for this. And remember, this was telephone survey. 400 people voted for their favorite radio station. So maybe a title could be favorite radio stations. Now with this, someone could look quickly and see, oh, hey, rock has the biggest area, so that must be the station that's the most popular. It would be maybe a little harder to tell between these ones because they're in the 20s and really close in percent, but it's pretty obvious to see this one. If you want to color coordinate, that makes it pop out a little more.